Spartans were the people of the ancient Greek city of Sparta, a city that emerged around 900 BC, but it was unlike any other place in the world. Sparta was known for its intense military culture, iron discipline, but also for unmatched courage. From the age of 7, Spartan children were taken from their homes but placed into a system of relentless training. This upbringing was harsh, but it shaped principles and a mindset so powerful that they are still studied centuries later. Therefore, the Spartans were not just warriors by profession, but warriors by design. Today, we are going to explore the Spartan rules for mental toughness, not as history, but as a mindset you can apply to your own life. Because the world has changed, but pressure has not. Comfort has increased, but weakness has also increased. Therefore, the Spartan mindset is more relevant now than ever. Rule 1. Embrace hardship. Spartans believed that comfort creates fragility, but hardship creates strength. So they trained in hunger, but they did not complain. They slept on hard ground, but they did not seek pity. They walked barefoot in the cold, but they never questioned why. They understood something most people avoid today. Hardship is not punishment, but preparation. When life became difficult, Spartans were not shocked. They were ready. Today we try to remove pain from our lives, but pain is the teacher. We avoid discomfort, therefore we avoid growth. The Spartan rule was simple. If something is difficult, face it. If something is painful, endure it. If something scares you, confront it. Because the more you run from hardship, the weaker your mind becomes. But the more you face it, the stronger you grow. Rule 2. Discipline over motivation. Spartans did not wait to feel inspired. They trained every single day, but motivation was never part of the equation. They woke up early, but they did not negotiate with their feelings. They trained when they were tired, but they did not stop. They trained when injured, therefore they learned to push beyond limits. They knew motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. In modern life, people wait for the perfect mood. They wait to feel ready, but readiness never comes. Spartans understood that action creates confidence, therefore discipline creates freedom. When you build discipline, you do not depend on emotions. You move forward regardless of how you feel. That is mental toughness. Rule 3. Control what you can. Spartans did not waste energy worrying about outcomes. They did not fear the enemy, but they respected preparation. They could not control the battlefield. They could not control numbers or weather. But they could control their effort, their focus, but also their response. Therefore, they trained obsessively. While others panicked, Spartans stayed calm. While others imagined defeat, Spartans imagined execution. This mindset made them deadly. You cannot control other people's opinions, but you can control your actions, therefore your mindset. Mental toughness begins when you stop complaining about what you cannot change. It grows when you master what you can. Rule 4. Fear is not the enemy. Spartans felt fear, but fear did not control them. They accepted fear as a natural response, therefore they trained through it. They were taught that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear. When a Spartan stood in battle, his heart raced. His hands trembled, but his feet stayed planted. Fear was acknowledged, but never obeyed. Today, fear stops people from starting. Fear stops people from speaking. Fear stops people from becoming who they could be. But fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal. It tells you where growth begins. Spartans understood this, therefore they walked forward anyway. Rule 5. Endurance over excuses. Spartans did not make excuses. Excuses were seen as weakness, but endurance was honored. If training was brutal, they endured. If conditions were unfair, they endured. If the odds were impossible, they endured. They believed that quitting once makes quitting easier forever. Therefore, they trained their minds to endure longer than others. In modern life, excuses are everywhere. People blame time, circumstances, but also other people. The Spartan mindset asks a different question. What can I do right now, regardless of the situation? Mental toughness is not about having an easy path. It is about refusing to quit on a hard one. Rule 6. Pain is temporary, but pride lasts. Spartans were taught that pain fades, but honor remains. A moment of weakness could stain a lifetime. Therefore, they chose pain. They understood that suffering has an expiration date. Regret does not. This belief pushed them beyond limits others could not imagine. When your body wants to stop, your mind decides whether it listens. Spartans trained the mind to lead, but the body to follow. This is where true toughness is born. Rule 7. The group comes before the individual. Spartans were raised to think we, but never me first. Personal comfort meant nothing compared to collective strength. They fought for the man beside them. They trained for the unit, therefore they trusted each other completely. This bond made them fearless. A man fighting for himself will quit. A man fighting for something bigger will endure anything. Even today, purpose multiplies strength. When your life is connected to meaning, quitting feels impossible. Rule 8. Simplicity builds strength. Spartans lived simple lives. No luxury, no excess, but no distraction. They ate simple food. They wore simple clothing. They focused on essentials, therefore their minds were clear. Modern life is noisy. Too many choices, too many distractions, but too little focus. Mental toughness grows in simplicity. When you remove noise, clarity appears. Rule 9. Train every day, not sometimes. Spartans did not train only when danger approached. They trained every day, therefore war never surprised them. Consistency was their secret weapon. They knew that greatness is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in ordinary days done extraordinarily well. Mental toughness is not built once. It is built daily. Miss one day but return the next. Fall once but stand again. Consistency beats intensity every time. Final rule. Accept death, therefore fear less. Spartans were taught to accept mortality. Not to seek death, but to understand it. Because when you accept the worst outcome, fear loses its power. They did not cling to life desperately. They lived fully, therefore they fought bravely. This acceptance freed their minds. When you stop fearing loss, you start living with intensity. When you accept failure, success becomes possible. The Spartans are gone, but their mindset remains. In a world obsessed with comfort, choose discipline. In a world that avoids pain, choose endurance. In a world driven by fear, choose courage. Because mental toughness is not inherited. It is built. And like the Spartans proved, it is built one hard decision at a time.